the #1 champion sound. Yeah, Estelle, we about to get down. We the hottest in the world right now. Just touched down in London town. Bet they give me a pound. Tell them put the money in my hand right now. Tell the promoter we need more seats. We just sold out all the floor seats.
Take me on a trip, I'd like to go someday. Take me to New York, I'd like to see LA. I really want to come kick it.
You're probably wondering how a Canadian girl like Erica ended up in Norway. Let's get into it, shall we?
So I hear the kids want to know the lore. They want to hear the storytelling. They want to know the rah-rah, the hoopla behind how a black girl like me got to Norway. How I crossed the ponds and the seas and got to Norway. Something you should know about me. I aim never to disappoint. Sometimes I might, but hey, the people pleaser in me is indeed recovering. One thing to know is, baby, I keep a passport on me. Okay, let's escape. I keep a passport on me. The crazy thing is, I do love to travel. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself adventurous, but sometimes saying yes to God lands you on a pilgrimage. So in case, and a couple of wet wipes in case a bum wanna touch me. I chew. Keep a boarding pass on you. Just kidding. So, boom. Let me set the scene. It is March in Los Angeles, okay? I'm about to be heading on my way back to Toronto to reset my visa, and I end up at church at Fearless LA in DTLA off of Hope Street, in case you're looking for a church in Los Angeles. And I'm about to talk to one of my friends, Samuel. I'd seen him, but I hadn't caught up with my brother in Christ in a while, so I said, let's parlay, let's keep. So he decides that he's hungry, and he's like, you know what, you want to go get an acai bowl because there are food trucks around the church. I'm like, you know what, I personally am not hungry because my system is still in shock. Why did I wake up when church started? I missed apparently every alarm. The devil tried to try me, but God was fighting for me. Okay, I got up, I put on some black, I ran to church. I said, I'd rather be late than not be there at all. So head to church, I'm talking to him, and someone else comes to talk over to him. A and B conversation, I see myself out, okay? So I'm chilling on the side, and this girl, cutely dressed, walks by. And one thing about me, I love a good outfit, okay? So she walks by, and I'm like, girl, love that outfit. Like, yes, skirt. Yes, honey. You know me. I make a friend. And so she stops and she turns towards me. When she turns towards me, the light that was exuding from her was like, oh, breath of fresh air. You carry the glory of God. I clock it, okay? So we get to talking. Now, it's Holy Spirit led because I don't even know how I got to asking her where she comes from, but I explained that I'm from Toronto and my family's Jamaican, and she's like, oh, I'm Norwegian, and like I'm part Filipina. Love that, Teton, love that. So we start to yapping, and she's like, matter of fact, are you leaving now? I was gonna catch up with my brother and then head on home, okay? But I felt in my heart and my spirit, you know what, let's kiki, let's, you know, meet her and talk with her, because she also was like, oh, I have another friend here, I'm gonna bring her acai bowl, come catch up with us. So I thought, okay, friendship. So, but realistically, we're acquaintances. We just met. We're one step over strangers, okay? Actually, we're technically still strangers. So I head over to the table. We start talking about ministry. I start telling her about the women's ministry that I'm in. We start talking about Esther. My friend Samuel comes back. He starts talking about Esther. We're talking about Saul. We're talking about prophecies going forward. We're praying. We're having a good Christian time, okay? I just feel in my heart that like they're gonna be important people, and sometimes what you feel in your spirit, what God's telling you might not match what's physically going on, right? So I again just told them I'm gonna be leaving LA like literally the next day, and they're like, this is our last week in LA, we're going back to Norway at the end of the week. So I'm like, how does this feel like this is gonna be an important relationship and we're both where all three of us are leaving America this week. I said, interesting. I don't know how this is gonna pan out, but whenever you get back to LA, whenever I get back to LA, just know you have a big sister, an older sister in me. Like, you have a friend in me. Whatever you need, as much as I can help, I will offer that. And just like, even if it's not helping, it's just like, you know, a good burger, a good beach day, let's do it, right? So okay, cool, we exchanged. So initially I thought that they were in fashion because the outfits were cute. That's what caught my attention. But no, Hillary, the girl that I met first, she does music, and Lydia, her friend, who's also Norwegian but his family is Ethiopian, does photography. So I said, bet. Like, we love the creatives. We love the creatives. It was so nice to meet them. We exchanged Instagrams. I get Hillary's WhatsApp because, you know, international shorties, and we say our goodbyes. Okay, I even left the conversation and came back, and you know, just had a great time. Lovely to meet you. We hug, pray, we're tearing, words going forth. Great time, no notes. That's what we thought. But one thing about God, he always got something up his sleeve. Okay, I now jump on a plane, head back to Canada. Okay, I'm in Canada, as you know, starting my YouTube journey, and I'm looking for a thumbnail on my computer of myself. Me, okay? I'm looking for a thumbnail on my computer to upload to Canva of myself. I happen to scroll just a little too far, and I'm looking at Pinterest pictures from a vision board kind of vibe that I had going on in the beginning of the year, because my friend likes to do that with all of us on FaceTime, and I was like, me personally don't know what the year is going to pertain, but there are some stuff that I want to get into, so let me just draft off and, you know, draft something, and the Lord has all control and lordship and sovereignty to change as he wills. Okay, so that being said, that's important because in one of the pictures is a girl wearing a denim outfit. If you know anything about me, La fille canadienne, I love me a Canadian tuxedo. Okay, I like to wear light wash, dark wash, brown denim, black denim, blue denim, all of it. Okay, so I see this girl in this denim outfit. I think I will insert it on screen. I see this girl in a denim outfit in my downloads on my laptop. That's based off of the Pinterest Canva vision board thingy that I got going on. And I pause for dramatic effect. And I'm like, I know, you know, sometimes you got, I know you lying. I literally, verbally, I know you're lying. I know you're lying. Because why? This was March 14th. I have the receipts. This was March 14th. And I DM Hillary, the girl that I just met on Sunday. And I shocked. I said, hey, if I could zoom in on this, okay, I will. I said, girl, I'm screaming. I said, why did I just meet you on Sunday? And then weeks later, days later, however long, I can't even remember, I now see that I have a picture of you that I just met. A picture of you on my vision board. I'm staring at you on my computer, but I just met you in real life on my last Sunday in Los Angeles. Huh? So I DM her. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I take a picture. I take a picture and I send it to her. I was just going to take the picture of her, but I felt like the Lord was telling me just zoom out a little bit. Just zoom out a little bit. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I zoom out a little bit of because obviously I'm not trying to spill all the tea on me. I zoom out a little bit, and above her picture, I have the word new beginning, because the Lord was talking to me a lot about Isaiah. Behold, I will do a new thing. Okay, cool. I have this cute little Pinterest picture of new beginning. Tell me why. I love when my friends say that. Tell me why. That's when you know the story's getting good. Tell me why. I didn't know that Pinterest was prophetic, because this is you on my Pinterest board. And then she proceeds to tell me that the outfit of the picture, the denim, two-piece denim outfit that I have of her, that picture was from a music video, from a song that she released last before I met her, that's titled New Beginnings, because the Lord gave her that song title. Pardonnez-me? What? Oh, this is just my, listen to the.
Girl, I can't even process this, because what is going on? Like, it's one thing, it's already crazy enough that we met at Fearless, and then after that, you saw me at your vision board, and
we can't make this
included of me in your vision board. That was from a music video called New Beginnings. And
no, girl, when I tell you I was gagged, I mean, I was going through my folders and I was looking for a picture and I was like, I know it's in here somewhere. Like, let me look through my downloads. And then I was going.
The girls were gagged, okay? So then I now jump in and she's giving me the receipts. New Beginnings music videos. I'm like, what is going on? And one of the important things about when me, Hillary, and Lydia met each other before the boys and the rest of our friends joined us, we were talking about faith. They were asking me what kind of faith it took for me to come from Toronto to LA, and I was also asking them what kind of faith it took for them to come from Norway to LA. They were doing some work previously in New York. I was in New York a little bit before they were there. Just all of the ways our stories almost interlocked, but it wasn't necessarily time yet. And pause, because I believe that's one of the coolest things that God could do. And I like to call it like an orbiting theory, where you are orbiting people that are important to your story, but because it's not their time yet, they're not introduced. But you pan out and look in which the ways you almost met each other. Those are my craziest stories. Like, I have a friend, this is an aside, I have a friend, we literally used to live on the same street in the same city, in different time periods in our lives. Like, I mean, like 4 houses away from each other. But it wasn't our time yet, and then I met her in a small group through an American church, but she lived a couple blocks. Shout out Kinesia, shout out Jesus. So anyways, back to the main lore. I get back to Toronto and I'm like, what is this about? Because remember, God told me they were going to be important. They went back to Norway, I went back to Toronto, we met in LA. Now I'm seeing the same girl that was on my vision board that I made in, like, I don't know, January, February. I meet her in March in Los Angeles. None of us are from there. Everyone's giving international kid. I said, God, what is this about? So I start a group chat with Lydia and Hillary, because again, remember, we were speaking about faith. And I said, guys, I don't know what's going on, but like, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hello, okay? That's level 1. That's step 1 even. I'm just like, wow, I'm so shook. I think I kept it to myself. You know when I said Mary considered the things in her heart? I kept it to myself for a bit. Now I'm on Instagram, because remember, I got their Instagram in LA. So now it's the algorithm pushing their content, so I'm seeing more of like her work, her songs, yada, yada, yada. Not thinking anything of it. I'm like, yes, girl, she's a singer. Love that for her. She posted she's going to have her first headliner tour in Norway. I'm like, wow, so cool. As I'm clicking through the story, a whisper, a still small voice, some of you may know it, tells me you're going. Who's calling that? Who said that? Me. Fika Nadjen. I'm going to where? To Norway? Huh? Oh! I'm like, there's no way. Except I've heard this voice before. It says, my sheep will know me by my voice, okay? And a stranger's voice they will not follow. So I said, God? It's me, Margaret. God, it's me, Erica. What would I be doing in Norway? Sorry, let me reverse the story. As we're sitting at the picnic table in Los Angeles, Lydia goes to me. She leans over and she said, girl, if you're look at her prompting. If you're ever in Norway, I would love to show you around the city and just take you and, you know, show you Norway. And I laughed Now, in the story, in the Bible, based off of true events, when the Lord told Abraham and Sarah they were gonna have a son of promise, Sarah laughed. She was like, in my old age? I laughed. I chuckled. Sorry, Lord. I chuckled to myself. I said, girl, if I'm ever in Norway, just know it was God. Because what business do I have? Me, a Canadian girl, what business do I have in Norway? I cannot see it. Only God. Only God is what I said, right? And she was like, okay, go. Not thinking. So now I'm in Canada. God's telling me, yeah, you're going to Norway. I'm like, okay. Now, I'm looking at the date for the headliner concert. It's a month away. Huh? You want me to go to Norway in a month's notice? I mean, retrospectively, it may be enough time for some, except I had a bunch of other things in my life that were unknown at the moment, and adding a European trip did not make logical sense at the time, nor at the time of departure, okay? But one thing about me, obedience is better than sacrifice, and I said, well, God, if you want me to go, show me, okay? And that he did. Hence me going, okay? So I now DM them. I'm like, guys, this is so crazy. We were talking about faith in Los Angeles, and I want to open up my life and show you so that you can see, learn, and also just be a witness to what crazy faith looks like in my life, because I think that's going to be important to see as I play it out, and like all of our stories are intertwined, but also like a lesson if you ever want to know, because that was their curiosity. So I said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm starting a group chat, and like I think that God wants me to go to Norway, and this is crazy because what do you mean, right? So they're like, we're open to it, bet. Lydia now says, hey, if you want to come, you could stay with me and my roommate. They're really chill girls, like just let me know. I just met y'all, I don't even think a week ago. About a week ago. March 19th, I buy the ticket. Because one thing about me, I don't really be knowing what God be doing all the time. Like the people who be telling you, oh, sometimes my faith looks like I'm not really sure, but I'm going. It's getting shaky. Like I'm like a Peter, like, ooh, God, if you tell me to come, I'm coming, but I'm not really sure, but like I'm holding on. Like my faith sometimes needs a life vest. I will not lie to you, okay? I be drowning a little bit. God be picking me up. Praise him for his goodness, because me, I would fail the test every time. But great is his faithfulness. So I'm like, I don't know nothing about nothing. In the event, Lord, that this is you, I'm gonna do my little tiny responsibility. I'm gonna plant my seed. You give seed to the sower. I'm gonna plant my mustard seed of faith to tell his mountain to move. I'm gonna buy a ticket. I got enough money in the bank to buy me a ticket. So I buy my ticket to this. First of all, I had to have the site translated to English because I don't speak a lick of Norwegian. And I buy me my ticket, and then your ticket, okay? March 19th, buy me a ticket. Buy me a ticket. I said, who's to say what's going on? I tell them, guys, I bought my ticket in faith. I don't know, whatever. So now I have a month. How am I getting to Norway? The money for Norway. Where am I leaving from Norway? Because I felt like I was supposed to leave from Norway from Los Angeles, but I'm currently in Toronto. Okay, cool. Now, life in other areas of my life, the way that I thought life was going was not how it was going, and that's a story for another time. But that adds to the fact that I couldn't buy my ticket to Norway yet because I didn't have the monetary means. Okay, if you know, you know. And I said, okay, God, how am I supposed, because one thing about Europe, it's not a couple cents. Whether you're doing that in Canadian, USD, Euro, or pound. Now, fast forward. One day, I go thrifting and I see this cute dress. It's simple. Pink, white. HH. Never, this brand is not familiar to me, right? I'm thrifting and I just see it on the rack and it shouts out to me and I'm like, cute, simple. That's it. I walk. I literally am going to walk, and I just feel like, put reverse. I'm like, no, I actually really want the dress. So I pick it up, and I'm like, I don't know why. It's so basic. I do like to wear pink. And I do have a pink pair of New Balances that I ironically thrifted in LA in 2018 before I ever knew I would have. In 2018, if you told me I would live in LA, I would have thought you were lying. But again, surprise, surprise, God has plans. I am showing my mom this dress in a separate conversation, and I look at this here, and it says, Helly Hansen, designed and developed in Norway since 1877. I kid you not. I was already asking the Lord. I was like, Lord, are we sure about Norway? Like, this doesn't make any logical sense. This doesn't make any financial sense. This don't make no sense at all. The things are not adding up. It's not clicking, Steven. But I feel like you said this to me, so I'm listening. My ears are open, but please help me. Please. If you are praying, Lord help, that's a real place, okay? Lord help me. So I now see this. I tell them, I'm like, guys, like, stay encouraged. Like, I feel like, you know, God's reminding me. And at this time, they're asking me, like, did you buy your ticket yet? Did you buy your ticket yet? Let us know. No ticket's been bought because, again, other areas of my life are flipping upside down. I can't buy a ticket yet. I don't know where I'll be in a month. Will I be in Toronto? Will I be in Los Angeles? Who's to say? Only the Lord knows. Fast forward to some faith, some fasting, and some prayer. I get to Los Angeles. I think I bought my ticket the week I landed in Los Angeles. Like, I bought my ticket. I'm pretty sure I bought my ticket from Los Angeles because God made a way through the wilderness and a river. He gave me a river and a desert, and he gave me a faithful friend. And I made my way to Los Angeles, and then I left to Norway from Los Angeles, okay? And that is important, okay, in the midst of everything else that was going on in my life. So now, Lydia calls me as I'm boarding in YYZ, Toronto Pearson Airport, to Los Angeles. Lydia calls me like, hey girl, what's tea? Because concert's coming up at the end of the week. And I was like, no girl, I was literally about to book my ticket now, but I'm also boarding for Los Angeles. And I don't know, I kept getting nervous. There was a lot of warfare. I kept getting so nervous, and I'm like, I've done this before, but maybe because it was big international, I was like, are we sure? God, this is crazy. What's going on? Either way, I end up booking the ticket. I tell them, like, okay, bet. Here's like where you're gonna be staying. Here is where like my roommates are cool with it, blah, blah. Mind you, we have met in person a total of one time. One. Numero uno. Une fois. Okay? Fast forward, get to LA, do what I gotta do in LA. Board a flight to Norway. My friend drops me to Norway. Why did I have an early morning? Cool. Here's where the adventure starts. Now, I decide to take a connecting flight from LA to Chicago, Chicago to London, London to Norway. I felt led to touch Chicago. I touched Chicago forgetting that I live a life of time zones, and sometimes I forget which one I be in at which time of day. So I landed Chicago thinking it's a quick snack. I'm thinking it's a quick layover. I got more time. I got like three hours, just under 4. So I text my homegirl Shaylin, and I'm like, hey yo, praying for you in your city, you know, two or three gathered. I'm not with you right now, but like touch and agree over some things, toss some things around in spirit. She goes, hold on. So she calls me, mind you, I'm still in my seat on the plane. I literally just landed in Chicago. She's like, I'm 30 minutes from the airport. You trying to do lunch? I said, carry the one. If we get a quick, I originally was trying to get deep dish pizza, but we thought about it, we processed it, we're like, let's do Chick-fil-A. Then I realized Raising Cane's was a little closer. I said, who could say no to some chicken and some fries? Okay, hop off the airport. I also checked, I only had a carry-on. You will not get me. they was not getting me with those added fees. Checked my carry-on though at the gate, and for the free. And I had a carry-on bag. Shout out to Base. Shay Mitchell, you will always be famous. She could pack a punch, okay? Shout out to her because my things were to the brim, okay? Anyways, so land in Chicago. Hop in the Sri Lanka with Shaylin. Who's calling that? Who's calling our phone? Who's calling our phone? We got a quick lens. Quick lens. Go get some Raising Cane's. Scrum-diddly-yum. Eat quickly. Pray. Hop back in the car. Touch the airport. Go to from Chicago to London. Hit London. Do my layover there. Not like Heathrow. One thing about Heathrow, I don't know what y'all got going on by having this little Russian roulette of guess your gate. I'm in the middle of biting my burger. Okay, because one thing about me, I had a European charger for Norway. I forgot the London blokes and the 3 prongs. Okay, so I couldn't charge nothing. So I was editing, doing a couple things, and I said, okay, let me do this first until my batteries run low, and then let me eat. Middle of my burger, I look up, I see boarding Oslo. Are you dumb? Wrap this up. Cut the cameras. Wrap this up. I'm now running to the gate. I said I've come too far. God's been showing me so much for me to miss my flight to Oslo. I'm huffing and puffing. I make it there. Sweating. Make it there, board the plane, knock out because I'm exhausted. Because did I sleep before these flights? Absolutely not. Why? That would make too much sense. Okay. I had a whole adventure before the flight. Anyways, I now get to Oslo. I land. I'm like, I've never been here before. I'm asking questions. Excuse me. If I need to go here, how do I take this to go whatever? They end up telling me. I book my little train ticket. First of all, one thing about the Europeans, they love their people. Okay, I'm easy breezy, beautiful cover girl sitting down on the train because what? It was comfortable. It was so comfortable. I had free Wi-Fi, had a little charger outlet, a little place where you could slip your luggage. America could never, okay? She's never that clean. So I'm taking my little train ride over, free Wi-Fi, checking in, blah, blah. The girls are at dress rehearsal because I got in, yeah, Friday morning, concert's Friday night. Okay, whatever. I had lunch Thursday. It took me a whole day to travel. At this point, I don't know what time zone I'm in. So I get there, I get to the apartment. I do not speak Norwegian, not even an ounce. Okay, so I'm looking for what I thought. VIBESGATE. I'm gonna ask if I could put this in the video because I don't want to be giving out people's addresses. But to me, vibes gate. To the Norwegians, Vibesgate. He gave me the shock. Kel shock. He judged me so bad. Okay, I'm going from the I'm trying to find, I get the first train. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm trying to find the little like tram that's going on the street. Okay, I see it visually. Do I know where the heck it's coming from? No. I'm walking through. I'm like, okay, there. How do I know how to board it? It turns out it was so much easier than I thought. I had to ask another homegirl. She was like, girl, get it on the street. I said, okay. I get out. I'm trying to find the apartment. Americans, we love a good label. Canadians, we love a good label. Everything is labeled. Apartments are labeled. This low key. So I had to ask Mr. where I was going. He lets me go. Mind you, met these girls once. I'm looking at the directory like there's no first names. I don't know where until I remember my homegirl has her last name on her Instagram. That one, I ring her roommate who is expecting me, Ilya, comes. I'm now trucking my suitcase up some flights of stairs. I get in, I'm like, bro, I just need to sit down because guess what? We have to get ready for the concert, okay? We go to the concert. Beautiful Hillary, you are a wonderful singer, songwriter, musician, artist, all of that. It was so amazing to hear her voice, to hear how pure it sounds, to hear the light of the Lord, see the glory of God, and also how she encourages people with her testimony and her faith of how Jesus is the reason that she just lives and moves and breathes.
So just rain down, Lord, peace, let your love fall like rain, just rain, Lord, please, just rain down, Lord, please, let your love just I'll be sinning before, keep me moving forward, yeah, every king of burden, work no more, I've seen it all before, and all the things surrounding us is enough. Does anyone know how much it costs to be free? Where do we go? Nobody knows how it's supposed to be. I keep on running. I keep on running. Keep on what? I keep on running. Sing.
And it was just such an inspiration of how to go out and make disciples of all nations. Yeah, love it. 10 out of 10, no notes, okay? So now everyone's trying to talk to me and talk to each other in Norwegian that I do not speak. So I'm just like, good thing I'm an only child and I can occupy myself, okay? So we do that. Please tell me why in Norway I was at a birthday party for a manager, okay? I was at a little local African church. We broke up a fight in a pizza shop. We were eating jollof rice outside at a picnic bench. I was in the restaurant. I was doing touristy stuff. What else? I was at an after party. All of these things. I'm just living my life, walking through the streets of Norway.
You are great, 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 great. You are a great God. You are big, big. You are big, big, big.
Thank you. You're lucky.
You're welcome.
You thought it was a big bag like that? For myself? But they've always been like...
The flea market. Why? Hold on. I went to my first Norwegian flea market. Of course I got a scarf. Like, I personally tried to get a Scandinavian jacket and it was too small. You know, the Europeans. Petite. And I saw this scarf and I said, yeah, it's giving, you know, one of those big bougie scarves that the girlies talk about. I don't even remember what brand. And why did I pick it up? Of course, I remember Canadian girl in Norway by way of Los Angeles. Los Angeles Atelier. It's from And Other Stories. Made in China. But I would be in Norway and find me a Los Angeles scarf. And I got it for, actually Lydia bought it for me. Thank you to her. It was $5. $5. You could never in Los Angeles, okay? Anyways, so yeah, I stayed with her roommates. Shout out to Ilya, Maria from Brazil, and Astrid. Wonderful ladies. I was eating pizza. I was eating sourdough. I was eating cookies. One day, Lydia and I, we were gonna go to this pastrami shop, but we ended up, it was closed. We wanted to get Thai. I wasn't really in the mood for Thai food. She was like, let's go somewhere else. We went to get Indian food. We're literally walking. There's this man experiencing homelessness on the street, and he's like trying to talk to her because, again, no Norwegian for me. And he's like motioning he wants some money, but we don't have any change cash. I didn't come with no Norwegian on me. He wants money, but we don't have any. So we're like, we can buy you something, we just don't have money. Homeboy is walking us blocks. I said, you know, I've lived this life a lot, and by the God's grace, I've not been kidnapped, but I do be following strangers clearly, regularly. I said, if it's not to this 7-Eleven that I could see from here, that's like this 5-minute walk, we are going, okay? This is not art. This is not how it ends for us. And so we go in, and he just wanted some water and like 2 hot dogs. And the excitement that he had in just getting something to eat was so just significant, because God really rerouted our whole day in seemingly small things of wanting something to eat, getting pastrami, that being closed, us hopping on the train, us not getting Thai, us deciding to get the Indian food because I love me some butter chicken, just for God to ordain it that we would see this man, that Lydia would see this man on the corner while everyone is walking past him. And it just reminds me of the scripture, what I believe it's Paul, and he says, I feel like there's also when Jesus says, if I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. You know, Psalm 82:3, defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. Psalm 146:8, the Lord gives sight to the blind, the Lord lifts up those who are bowed down, the Lord loves the righteous. Proverbs 22:9 might be, the generous will themselves be blessed, and for they share their food with the poor. Proverbs 31:20, she opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. Zechariah 7:8-10, and the word of the Lord came again to Zechariah. This is what the Lord Almighty said, administer true justice, show mercy and compassion to one another. Do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the foreigner or the poor. Do not plot evil against each other. I don't remember the exact words. Norway was beautiful. God really moved in some very quiet ways that I'm still processing. And just the people that we were able to see, Hillary and Lydia had some friends from London, and getting to hear their testimonies and just how all of our stories were intertwined. I posted about it, just some kids at a table telling testimonies. The fact that we ended up at a random pizza place because we got jollof rice from a baby dedication at church, and then we went to go get to this restaurant, but they didn't want us to eat outside food while we were waiting to be seated because the restaurant wasn't open yet and they had tables outside. So we ended up at the park, and then from there the boys were going to London that evening, so we're like, let's get you something to eat. So we went to this pizza shop and then literally broke up a fight, and the guy was about to hit the other man with the oven thing, the oven pizza, whatever that goes in the fool. And we just happened to be there. Like, they were literally about to scrap. And it was just like, you never know where your obedience will lead you. You never know where living a surrendered life will lead you. You never know. It could be Los Angeles, it could be Toronto, it could be Norway, it could be Dublin, it could be Berlin. Anywhere. It could be Chicago. It could be anywhere. And I just want to encourage you. Thank you so much for watching. Just seeing how good God is and how he was faithful to bring me to Norway. And what I heard was him in the midst of all adversity, oppression, and what my natural eye, what looked different to my natural eye than what was happening and what God told me in the spirit was true despite what it looked like physically. And just thank you to Lydia and Hillary for opening up your house, your space, your hearts to receive me. I totally know we will meet again. Who knows what our stories will bring, but this is just a testimony of what answering the call of God looks like, and how sometimes it might just bring you to Norway. I had a wonderful time. The Norwegians are lovely people. I was on the trains, the buses, the cabs. When we were taking a taxi from church to brunch, the man thought we were all Americans. It was Lydia, me, David, Hillary, and the taxi man, and he literally thought that we were all Americans, and I was like, sir, we might all be ethnic, and you might be white, but none of us, not one of us in this car is American. And it was just so funny because he thought that we were genuinely lying because they started speaking English, or we were all speaking English, but we were like, no sir, no one in this vehicle, not one of us is American. Anywho, that is my story of how I got to Norway, how God is gracious, how he is kind, how he's faithful. And I will continue to tell stories of his goodness, his glory, and his grace. And thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. And then I ended my travels with a little cheeky trip to London to see some of my family. Got me a little matcha, hit the Westfield, and then was back to America.